I had somebody ask me today why so many evangelical churches aren't praying for Israel, for the Jewish people, particularly at the moment, but in general. And it's a very good question and something that you need to ask if you're in church leadership, or maybe you need to ask your church leadership. Where do we stand on Israel, and where do we stand on the Jewish people? Here's Psalm 74, a maskil of Asaph. Why have you rejected us forever, God, with your anger smoking against the sheep you once pastured? Remember your community which you acquired long ago, the tribe you redeemed to be your very own. Remember Mount Zion, where you came to live. Hurry your steps to these endless ruins, to the sanctuary devastated by the enemy. The roar of your foes filled your meeting place. They raised their own banners as a sign of their conquest. The place seemed like a thicket of trees when lumbermen hack away with their axes. With hatchet and hammer they banged away, smashed all the carved woodwork. They set your sanctuary on fire, tore down and profaned the abode of your name. They said to themselves, we will oppress them completely. They have burned down all God's meeting places in the land. We see no signs. There is no prophet anymore. None of us knows how long it will last. How much longer, God, will you forbear us, or forbear at us? No. How much longer, God, will the foe jeer at us? Excuse my reading. I'll read that whole passage again. We see no signs. There is no prophet anymore. None of us knows how long it will last. How much longer, God, will the foe jeer at us? Will the enemy insult your name forever? Why do you hold back your hand? Draw your right hand from your coat and finish them off. God has been my king from earliest times, acting to save throughout all the earth. By your strength you split the sea in two. In the water you smashed sea monsters' heads. You crushed the heads of Leviathan and gave it as food to the creatures of the desert. You cut channels for springs and streams. You dried up rivers that had never failed. The day is yours and the night is yours. It is you who established light and sun. It is you who fixed all the limits of the earth. You made summer and winter. Remember how the enemy scoffs at Adonai, how a brutish people insults your name. Don't hand over the soul of your dove to wild beasts. Don't forget forever the life of your poor. Look at the covenant, for the land's dark places are full of the haunts of violence. Don't let the oppressed retreat in confusion. Let the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, God, and defend your cause. Remember how brutish men insult you all day. Don't forget what your foes are saying, the ever-rising uproar of your adversaries. Wow. It makes me think that was written in the exilic times when Israel was in exile in Babylon, maybe written about those times. But the verse that stands out at the moment for me is verse 20. Look at the covenant. Look to the covenant. You know, how often do we hold God's word up to him as the righteous judge and go, excuse me, your word says, you said you would do this. David says that in his Psalms. I'm pretty sure Asaph says that in other Psalms as well, maybe Solomon, maybe Moses, the other Psalm writers. But look to the covenant and lift up the covenant and say, Lord, you said you would do this. Daniel said this after reading Jeremiah. He discovered by reading Jeremiah that God had determined 70 years for the Israelites to be in captivity in Babylon. And so he held God's word up to him and said, you said 70 years. I've done a calculation. I was in my late teens when I was taken captive. I'm now in my late 80s. That's 70 years. It's time to let your people go home. And that's exactly what happened. But that's my thoughts from Psalm 74, and I'll see you tomorrow maybe for the middle Psalm, Psalm 75.